to The Matriarchs, the place where moms come to laugh, cry, and secretly admit that we're not okay watching our babies grow up. But today we're talking about the joys of being a mom to our wonderful girls and what we love most about being a mom in each stage of their lives. So I say we just jump into some of the fun parts of being a mom to our girls.
So the first thing that kind of comes to my mind right now is the moments of bedtime and how suddenly Emma gets so talkative when it's time to go to bed. And it's like a love-hate relationship that I have with this time because I'm exhausted too. And so I just am like, I want to go to bed. But at the same time, she's like ready to tell me about her day. She's ready to tell me about all the things that she does with her friends at school, you know, the good things, the bad things. And so I have to try to remind myself to be patient and to actually listen. And, you know,
Yeah.
I can always sleep later.
Right. Yeah.
We need to start going to bed earlier so that she has time to talk.
It's cute.
Instead of like at 9 o'clock.
I didn't realize she was already into that because, you know, that's such a teenage thing. And I really saw it with Grace. And now Allie's starting to be like that. And I love me some early bedtime. But when they are in that like mood to talk, I have to just force myself to, because that's when you get, you know, the most, I don't know, just those precious moments. And honestly, you know, as parents, we may enjoy talking more in the morning or in the afternoon, but there's just something about kids and teens that they want to talk before bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think her and Ella both are just at that stage where they just don't want to go to bed. And so that's when, you know, anything and everything. But hers has become different. Like it's not just stuff that, you know, Ella talks about. Like she actually wants to talk about like something a friend did that, you know, that day that maybe made her happy or something that made her sad, you know, different things. And so it has become a little different, but yeah, it is interesting to see those moments. And I know that they're there so that we can bond and grow and learn and from each other and stuff like that. But
I agree. Yeah. I know for Allie and Grace, it's before bed. And they can stay up. They like to stay up late. But also for Allie, it's like when we're in the car. She just is a little bit chatty, and I love it because I don't know. I get to hear so much about her. You know.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
It is funny. Like that is for some reason bedtime in the car. That you know, they don't stop talking. And from an early age, like Ella even. Oh my gosh, that kid, that will be like, does she ever shut up? Which sounds terrible.
I have a video of Grace when she was like, I think she was like 6 or 7. I just sent it to her probably a month ago. It is the cutest video ever. I had picked her up from Tony's. And she was telling me about their weekend, and I don't think she took a breath once. And this went on for like 7 solid minutes. And it was so, I watched that video time and time. It's precious.
Aww. Check little voices at that age. It's so cute.
I know it. I love it.
We'll never get this time back. I know that.
You know, and it's the older your kids get, the more you realize how precious those moments are. Because, you know, as you know, some of our listeners don't. Allie's my youngest, and she's 15 now. And so you really start to realize, oh my gosh, I don't have a child in elementary anymore. I don't have a child in middle school anymore. And you just, it's true how fast it goes, you know?
Yeah.
And when we're in the thick of it, we don't really realize how quickly it's going. But I learned too through these conversations to, sometimes they just need to talk and vent. Sometimes they don't want us to give our opinions. And so I become super intentional about saying, like, after they're done talking, or if they act like they're wanting some advice, I'll say, do you just want me to listen, or do you want advice? And I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, but it's huge because one thing I also learned, especially about being a girl mom, is they will keep talking to you if you continue to be that safe place for them. And I think sometimes if we give too much advice or too much unsolicited opinions, then they kind of reel it in on what they say, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, that's another amazing, fun, joyful aspect of being a mother is you get to be that like safe place for your kids. And that's, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of your favorite moments and memories other than like conversations that you've had with the girls?
Right now, I would say sports, like just being able to watch them with their sports, you know, stuff like that, things that they love. Like Emma used to light up when she would play softball, and I got to see that again yesterday when she was, you know, playing.
Yeah.
She kind of goes through these phases, I feel like, which I'm starting to hear other moms say that that's normal for a 10-year-old girl. So I'm happy to hear that. But she like kind of goes up and down. Like one minute she loves softball, and then she goes through this phase where she's like just wants to be home and not go anywhere, and so she doesn't want to go to practice or whatever. And she has admitted she doesn't like practice. She likes the games.
Yeah.
So I know that's part of it. But just being able to see her really love what she's doing and, you know, get into it, and just that joy on her face is like, you know, how it just makes her, you know, makes you so happy. And that's some of my favorite memories right now.
That's sweet.
Besides, like, you know, when we get to spend time, I was blessed with the opportunity to stay home with Emma, until she went to kindergarten, you know, and then most of Ella's life too. And I would not give that up for the world.
Yeah.
Because I was able to see, you know, every little moment. I know not everyone can do that. And I'm not, and, you know, working is just as hard. But I'm so thankful that I got to be there for all those little things too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Those are sweet and precious. I mean, as you know, most of my motherhood, I've been a working mom, but when Dale and I moved to Atlanta, I got to be a stay-at-home mom, and it was an adjustment at first, but then just like having your kids on a routine, and, you know, Allie was a baby, and just putting her down for her naps or taking her on a golf cart ride, or when the girls got home, making sure that like all their homework was done. So we had the whole evening to, you know, and we created a bunch of memories during that time that were super sweet. Yeah. And I mean, being a working mom is so much harder as far as, I think being a stay-at-home mom is very, very hard for a lot of different reasons. It's also very, very rewarding. But, you know, being a working mom has the different layers of difficulty in it. But I think just focusing on the joys and those sweet moments and kind of make all the difficult times in life a lot easier.
Yeah.
So
yes, 100%. And can we just talk about sleeping babies for a minute? Like, that is one of the things that I will never forget, just how they look when they are laying there sleeping. Like, there's no greater thing. I feel like there was a baby, some of our friends are fostering a baby, and he was sleeping on one of her kids at church on Sunday yesterday, and I just looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, that is just like the best feeling when they're just laying on you sleeping, and there's like, you know, nothing more perfect than.
No, I agree. I think it's cute too when siblings sleep together. You know, with Grace and Allie, their age difference, they never did much of that. Grace and Reagan did for a while, but I have friends whose kids like slept together till they were, you know, like quite a bit older, and it's just cute that they have like, it's just sweet to see that kind of bond.
Yes.
Between siblings.
I agree.
I think some other like joys are creating like traditions and comforts at home, and like creating a home. I find so much joy in that, like creating a space at home where my girls want to be home, where they feel safe and they can relax and just like, and I know not everyone has that, you know, not everyone has that safety net of being at home, which I think is just so sad and heartbreaking. But I think that's just such an important component for me as a mother, is to create that space. And, I try to, have food available or snacks or make the girls' favorite things. Right now, Grace loves my homemade gluten-free bread. And so when I know she's home from school or she's on a break, I'll make that for her. Allie has her favorite things too. But with the girls a couple years ago, they've gotten into this big, kick of creating traditions. And I love it. I love it so much. So I guess, what are some of your traditions? Your guys' traditions?
For the holidays?
Yeah, or just any, I think traditions do surround the holidays, but.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some. I don't know. What are some of yours?
So, we started, 2 years ago, we started going down to Table Rock Lake. And the girls just loved it. And so, Allie's been asking, Mom, when are we going? And it was just it was such a fun week. Some of our Christmas traditions, which are huge, is pajama, matching pajamas. Yeah. I used to not give them to them until Christmas Eve. And then I started getting them to them a little bit earlier so they can enjoy those pajamas a little bit more. The girls love to do gingerbread gingerbread house contests. We didn't do it this year, but Grace loves the cookie exchanges. So we're going to pick that up again next year. But just driving around the city looking at lights. Allie and I a couple years ago found some really great neighborhoods near us that you can tune into music, or the whole neighborhood goes crazy. And so we love to just put on our pajamas and get a cup of hot coffee and just drive around. And the girls love to go down to Union Station. And it's funny because if we miss one of those traditions, they let me know about it, Yeah. 2 years ago was a really kind of busy, stressful Christmas for me. And so I missed a couple of those traditions, and they really didn't like it. So it's it's amazing what that leaves with them, not just memories, but something to look forward to. And so
I'm trying to think of some that aren't holiday related that we have done. I honestly have cut back around the holidays a lot on the traditions, because I know they're important and I know that they will remember those forever. But at the same time, it's the busiest time of the year, and I'm usually exhausted and I don't know, I don't think we do normally go see the lights at Longview every year. This year, I don't even think we ended up getting to do that. We went and saw the night that they had the fireworks. We did go and watch that, but we never drove through there.
Wait, they had fireworks at Christmas time?
Yeah, Longview, the opening night.
I didn't know that.
Every year for the opening night, they do fireworks. We'll have to remember and maybe do that together next year.
That'd be awesome.
But so we do a gingerbread house, which they expect every year. I thought I would be better about baking cookies together and stuff like that, but I'm that's just one more thing for me to clean up. And
no, trust me, I think
just don't have the energy for it.
No, I think traditions were easier to come by years and years ago, but they also can get expensive. So
yes,
just being, if you don't have that, the money or income to do some of them, you can create free cheap ones. For instance, one that I heard online I thought was the cutest is when they were kids, the family didn't have a lot of money. So the mom would tear out coloring pages and they'd sit around the table and they'd color and talk and eat cookies. Yeah. They still do that now, and the kids are adults. And they said it's their favorite tradition. This super inexpensive, tradition. So I know Grace and Allie have a tradition too. This is crazy. During the spring, when we start to get storms and it rains a lot, They love to go down and swim in the lake while it's raining. And
Oh, really?
yeah, it could be dark. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. You won't catch me in dark water. But they love it. That's become a tradition of theirs. Is like, if Grace is home and it's raining or storming out, as long as it's not lightning, obviously, they'll go swim in the lake. I think that's cute. It's just, and then I'll either watch from home or, you know, like go down there and chat. But most of the time it's just the two of them. So, but I think, you know, as, you know, one thing that you and I talked about this topic is just focusing on like the joys and the fun aspect of being a mother, because there's so many challenging parts of being a mom too. I know for me, like, people had me fearing the teen years, but honestly, they're some of my favorite. Like, honestly, you just have, you know, your children that they become so funny, and like the conversations and the memories you create. And I don't know, you know, for Grace, she had an absolutely massive friend group that would come to our house all the time. And I just loved it so much. So yeah, I think the teen years have been some of my favorite.
Yeah.
So I definitely do like being, like, I would love to be the hangout spot when, like, Emma has friends, you know, come over every now and then already, but when they get older, I would love to be the hangout spot. I'm sure I'll be embarrassing at that time still, but but I just love seeing them all together, and how they interacted with each other, and, you know, they can be the silly selves with each other, and
it's amazing.
I love that. And then you get to feed them, and you know, those kinds of things. So
it's what, you know, some of my favorite things of having the girls over was we would start to, like, we would sit in the kitchen on the island, you know, at countertops, and some people are like, you did what? It just became, and we would all just chat, and like everyone would sit up on the countertops and we would chat. But I loved hearing them giggle, like if they're in his room or downstairs watching a movie or doing something, or they always stayed up late, and I'd go to bed and I could hear them out like playing basketball and talking, or like giggling really loud. And, you know, it's easy too to, like, when they're being noisy and you're trying to sleep, to like get onto them. But I learned that just to let them have fun, and, you know, I just turn the fan up a little louder to drown it out. And I'll tell you, that is one way to get kids to your house is, and I know not everyone does sleepovers, but as the girls got older and they knew we were a safe space, they would spend the night. And that's usually once they got their driver's license, they would spend the night a lot. And, you know, they would talk about how other moms would always like get onto them at night when they were being noisy or giggling. But at our house, I wouldn't do that. So that's one way. And then just feeding them. I always had food. I tried to accommodate like some of their, you know, diet restrictions. And then it got to the point where some girls would come over even when Grace wasn't home. I just loved it.
All right, so that's a wrap on today's episode. Remember to celebrate the joys of motherhood and take time to reflect on the memories we love so much with the girls. We'll see you next time right here where brave moms raise brave daughters.